How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. We're going to be talking about everything XRP. Shout out to you guys, for tuning in on a regular day-to-day basis. You guys are amazing. But without further ado, let's take a look at, what's happening and what we could be expecting going into Tuesday morning. So, Arthur Brito, obviously coming live after so many years, has really brought in a lot of excitement, within the crypto space. And speaking about excitement, the market already was, picking up traction as we started off Monday. And on top of that, Arthur Brito coming, XRP community is really out here, in full force and just having a great time and a lot of excitement, a lot of speculation happening, of course. And, one of the biggest speculation was that this is hacked, but David, has come out and said, I can confirm this was not a hack or a compromise. This is Arthur Brito himself who has tweeted this. So if you're looking across the board right now, of course, there is a tremendous amount of green across the market, double-digit gainers across the crypto space right now. As far as XRP is concerned, as we are going into Tuesday morning, we're looking at about $2.19 as far as the price is concerned, and also up 4.3% in Bitcoin comparative side of things. And if you're looking at the valuation, $129.5 billion. So if you want to put this into perspective, since literally last night, you could see an increase of over $10 billion for XRP, and the valuation is, of course, like I said, 130 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume is at about $4.3 billion. And when I pull out the charts, I really want you guys to understand, we are getting closer and closer to that key range retest yet again, and it's just starting to show how much momentum XRP really has for itself. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in cryptocurrencies. So, ETF flows around 350.6 million Bitcoin and about 100 million Ethereum were bought on June 23rd. On top of that, another big news is that, Texas allocates $10 million to buy Bitcoin for its strategic Bitcoin reserve, potentially making it the first U.S. state to buy BTC. But the craziest news, of course, is this right here. We spoke about how Circle IPO has done a 10x since its launch. Obviously, people that got in at the pre-sale of the IPO, are up 10x if they did not sell, of course, at this point. And another breaking news in correlation to that, Anthony Pompliano, ProCap Financial completes a $1 billion fundraiser to buy Bitcoin, the largest initial treasury fundraiser in history. Buckle up. And also there's rumors flying around that, they are going to take this company to go public as well, which of course does not surprise me. Why doesn't it surprise me? Because of course there is a lot of interest, and not just an interest from an ROI perspective, but for these companies themselves, they see the potential, and this is going to bring in a lot of capital. A perfect example, of course, of that is this right here, Total Insanity Circle, nearly at $300 per share. This right here itself is crazy stuff. Anyone that got into Circle, even at the beginning, is probably up 8 to 9x at this point, which again is insane. And this just should make you guys understand how much more eyes are going to be on crypto companies. And a lot of crypto companies, I think, are going to go public. And of course, I think there's going to be an insane amount of capital flowing, on Wall Street to these, obviously, companies that are going to go public. But obviously, like I stated to you guys before, only a few in the long term are going to survive. But the hype factor itself is not going to die anytime soon based off of what we're seeing. And again, this is my own personal opinion. But look at what the U.S. Director of Federal Housing says. We will study the usage of cryptocurrency holdings as it relates to qualifying for mortgages. That's insane. That is insane right here. Obviously, some financial institutions, some big banks might not be, giving these, services to their clientele, but there are some small credit unions, small banks that actually look at this. But imagine this at a greater scale. Imagine what this means for this digital asset, space itself. And of course, Bitcoin and XRP, because of course, if you're an XRP holder, I'm sure you could, qualify for this in the future. But again, I'm sure there's other risks associated to it as well, but that's where you talk to the advisor, and they obviously go over that. But again, another move in the right direction for the entire digital space. But look at this, Paul Barron says, I'm predicting a July rate cut. So as we know, we are already almost at the end of the month for June, and we're entering second half of the year. And Paul Barron says, I'm predicting a July rate cut. And again, there's an FOMC meeting in July. Oil prices are now down 7.5%, a huge indication that markets believe the conflict between Iran and the US will be obviously de-escalated immediately. Crypto, Bitcoin, and Ethereum oil prices are now lower than they were on the day. POTUS took office. This is a good softball for the Federal Reserve to lower rates, which of course would be amazing to see. If we do see a rate cut, I think this would have a positive impact on the crypto space. Because of course it gives investors more confidence, to go look into crypto and other assets, of course. So that will be interesting, but we'll see what happens. Shatter to smoke. There will be a supply shock for XRP before BTC. Bitcoin should reach its max supply of 21 million unit in approximately 2,140, and XRP should reach its max supply in the next few years. This documents below, and this is from Wisdom Tree, which of course is one of the asset managers that has filed for an ETF. But now let's take a look at what's happening with the price as far as the dominance is concerned. Currently sitting at 65.22%. Obviously, our last yearly high, which was back in May, that exact level is playing as a support. If you're looking at BTC, let's give it a refresh live. You can see this for yourself. Bitcoin is pushing towards the upside at $105,660 as of recording this update. You guys know the significance of that 106,800 key resistance. We want to see that resistance break out. If it's able to do that, I am projecting this week could be very, very exciting for the space. But if you're looking at XRP back in the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement level, as far as our target is concerned, we nailed the target at the $1.91. Since then, the price of XRP is up 15%. A lot of haters are going to be speechless right now because, we are back in the 38.2 like we've never left. But as I said at the beginning of the update, the $2.30 key resistance is once again going to be retested. This would mark the third time, I think, just this month. And if we're able to, break out of that range, I think, we could start pushing up to the likes of that $2.50 and into the 23.6, which itself would be really nice to see. And that resistance itself is only a 6% move from where we currently are. And I do project us to retest that in the next few hours to come, especially if BTC is able to push back above that key resistance I've continuously spoken about. And if dominance continues to pull down, this would be a great sign. So we'll keep you guys covered. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button, and we'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.